So this is my new washer dryer combo. It's made by LG. I'll include the model number either in a subtitle or down in the description or something. I've got to look that up. But I bought this, it's probably been 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And it came on the back of a tractor trailer. Had them delivered. It's going to eventually go in the back of the RV. I'm waiting on some plumbing parts. Right now it's just temporarily set up. I just ran the hot and cold water together. I don't know, it's got some computer sensing inside, so I wasn't sure if it would recognize if the hot water wasn't hooked up. I don't wash anything with hot water anyway, so it's not really a big deal. But it's got some pretty complicated settings. It doesn't do a very big load. It's not a big washer. It's, I would say, probably a third smaller than your standard washer or dryer. It's also more expensive, but if you add up the cost of a washer and a dryer individually, I think in the end you're going to probably pay about the same as what this unit does or costs all in one, because you're getting it all in one. So we've got a small load of laundry. I've already thrown a towel in there, but the instructions say to wipe down the rubber seal, which is this, which seals the door. You got to wipe that down after every use. It gets a little bit of lint and stuff, you know, whatever's in the clothes. Sometimes that sticks to that thing. So I already wiped that down. That's the towel that's in there. It's a microfiber towel that I use for camping. Your soap, pre-wash soap, and fabric softener. This is your main wash, pre-wash, fabric softener. As far as the settings go, I'm still kind of playing with them, but you can set the dry time. This is a ventless dryer, so it doesn't actually vent to the outside. It has a water collection port down underneath of here. A little hose inside there that you have to drain the water out periodically. And a lint catch inside of there. It catches the lint. You got to scrub that once in a while. I'll go through the settings. Let me put the laundry in and add the soap, and then we'll talk about the settings here in a minute. Got the load in, door's closed. Went ahead and added my soap and fabric softener. Close that up good. Fire it up. Let's see. This thing indicates all the lights are lit up when you first turn it on, but it gives you a little thing there where it shows you where your selection is. I guess we'll go to let's try that. Change our temperature because we don't have hot water. Go to, oh, it doesn't want that. Let's go to bulky. Tap cold. Yeah, that's good enough. We'll call this heavy because I did some weed whacking this morning, so I got a little bit of grass on there, so we'll say that. Spin cycle, we'll say high. I don't know. Still kind of figuring some of this out. Dry time. Well, let's try this. Heavy. Come on. Tap cold. We'll say high. We'll say more dry. And if you notice, it gives you 3 dots here, or 3 lines. So we hit that. And what it's going to do is go through a cycle. And it's going to spin just a little bit. And it's measuring the weight of the load, or how much the load is. And then it'll spin again. Spin again. I don't know if we can get that on there or not. But it's just checking to see how big the load is. And it's estimating the time that it's going to take to wash. So those 3 dots went away, and you get the one that moves across there 3 different times. That's just where it's sensing the size of the load. The instructions say not to put a load in heavier than 8 pounds or fill it more than, I wouldn't go more than half the barrel. I would say probably a third is probably pushing it. Okay, so there you go. It's because it's a non-vented dryer, it's going to take almost 4 hours. I know that sounds like a long time. I found that it actually takes longer than what it tells you. It must sense, you know, how damp things still are. and it keeps drying until it says, okay, I guess things are dry enough. So basically, put the stuff in here and go do whatever else it is you got to do and come back. I set my timer so I know when it's supposed to be done, so I can try to catch it right as it's finishing. And I can take it right out so nothing gets wrinkled, or try to minimize the wrinkles. So we'll come back here in about 4 hours and we'll check it. Okay. So while that's washing, I'll talk to you a little bit about what I think of that washer and the amount of time that it takes for it to do a load. Number one, it's going to eventually end up in the garage portion of the RV, so that means that in theory, as long as I'm hooked up to water services and things, because I haven't figured out exactly how much water it's using yet. As long as I'm hooked up to services, I can wash clothes wherever I take the RV. And in years past, I've taken the RV to like Swanee River State Park. We went to the Outer Banks last year. We were in the National Park campground in the Outer Banks. We didn't have hookups there, but water was right across the street. I could have shuttled water in, I guess, if that thing uses that much water and I really needed to do a load. Or we can go to a campground that had services. It's not really a big deal. It would have been nice to have a washer dryer like that to do, even if it's small loads. You know, you do just keep up on your laundry and do a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe a load every couple days or something. And you know, it'd be real nice if you're on a 2 or 3 week vacation, or 2 weeks, and you drive, you know, 1,000 miles away from your house or wherever, so you don't have to go to a laundromat. You know, you just do it right in your rig and you're good to go. So in that aspect, I think it's going to be really beneficial. So far, I've done 1, 2, 3. I think I've done like 3 or 4, maybe 5 loads of laundry inside that washer dryer. Everything comes out. It comes out really hot. That's why it takes a lot longer. It's 120 volts rather than your dryers, which I don't know, I think they're 220 or something like that. They use a lot more power, and they're vented, so they're blowing that hot, moist, or humid air out. They're exhausting that out of the unit and outside the house or the structure. In this case, in an RV, you know, I could probably have put a vent in here, but it's one more thing that I have to do. You know, I've already got to drill holes to run a drain and to run water lines, and I haven't decided if I'm going to run a hot water line or not yet. But you know, just trying to make it as easy as I can. You know, if this doesn't work out and I want to get a vented one, you know, that's not a big deal to add that or upgrade that to the RV. Yeah, it takes a long time, but you know, if you got to go to the grocery store, you got to go get stuff at the hardware store, you know, you got to mow your grass, whatever it is, you know, make your bed, take a shower, you know, get up early in the morning, throw stuff in there, do whatever it is you're going to do, and then come back later and your stuff is done. So like I said, I've been setting my timer to keep track of how long it takes and when it's ready to go, especially when I do shirts and things that I don't want to get wrinkled. The cost of that unit, delivered, I think it was something like $1,500, give or take a little bit. Yeah, that's a lot, but if you divide that in half, you're looking at $750 for a washer, $750 for a dryer. You know, that's on the upper end. I think you can get used ones cheaper than that, of course, but it's brand new, it's mine. I know it works good. I'm not getting somebody else's secondhand stuff that I don't know if it had an issue and they just got it running long enough for me to buy it, and then I have a bunch of problems with it. And it's small. It fits. It'll fit in the garage of the RV. I think it'll fit in there pretty good. I think it's like 33 inches by 33 inches. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how high it is. It might be like 48 inches or something like that high. It's pretty heavy. It weighs, I think, 210 pounds, I think, or 180 pounds to 210 pounds, somewhere in there. It's pretty much a two-person thing to move that thing around. So when it goes from the shed out back to inside the RV, I'm going to probably get a dolly or something like that and just wheel it in the back, and that way it'll be in. I don't have to worry about it. But so it's a little on the heavy side. But again, if you got 2 units, a washer and a dryer, you know, I think I don't know which one of those is heavier, probably the washer. Your weight is probably going to be a little more than that. I don't know what one of those weighs by itself. I haven't moved one in a while. But as far as why I decided to go with that, I looked at full-size units. I looked at this one. I looked at a couple of the versions that were the same size as this, but just different, didn't have the options and things that this one does. I looked at them all on Amazon. I got some model numbers, and I went to some other websites and looked at the reviews on other sites to see if people were saying the same things. The size and the weight and the power consumption was one of the reasons why I went with this one, because it'll plug right into a wall socket in the garage. So I don't have to run special electric. I don't have to put in a special breaker. That was a big deciding factor. But a lot of the reviews were, some of them were kind of concerning. You know, so people were complaining about, like, the door doesn't latch, or came unlatched and flooded my whatever, you know, the laundry room, the basement, whatever. In an RV, that's not exactly something you want to have happen, because you can cause a lot of damage really quick, especially if that thing's got 10 gallons of water in it. You know, that goes a long way when you spread that across your floor. So that was a concern. One was there was a lot of people that were complaining about how long it takes and that their clothes were coming out wet. That particular unit, you have to tell it that you want it to dry when it's done washing. So I haven't figured all those settings out, and that's evident when I was trying to set that a little while ago. And I set it on I think the heavy cycle, and I couldn't change the dry, or it didn't have the dry function. So I flipped the dial to the other side, wash and dry. It's telling it that I want to dry. And I don't know, there may be a way to do one and tell it you want to do the other when it's done, but I haven't figured all that out yet. So as I figure that out, I may do update videos on that later. You have to tell it you want to dry the clothes. And then I kind of use my judgment. I think that thing is sensing how wet stuff is, and it's drying a little bit longer to make sure that it's actually dry. But you got the normal, I think it was like more dry, and then there was, I don't know, time sensing or something like that was the next one up. I keep going with the more dry. Those settings, that and the spin cycle, are directly proportional to how long it takes you to do a load. So if you do extra heavy or something like that, high spin dry, or high spin spin to get the water out, and then more dry, that's going to be your longest cycle. If you do it on a light or something like that, medium, you know, your dry and your cycle, your spin cycle. I've done a load. I think it took just over 2 hours. You know, it was like some t-shirts and stuff. You know, it wasn't anything super heavy. Now I did a couple of bath towels, and they took a little longer because they're extra fluffy. You know, they hold a lot more water than a thin t-shirt does. So when I did the bath towels, I think I did 3. I think this load here, it's like 3 t-shirts. It's a light microfiber towel, a pair of pants, a shirt, some socks, a couple of handkerchiefs. I don't think there's anything else in this load. That was pretty much it. And it's you can kind of tell when you're getting to the full point. So you could do more, but according to the instructions, they're saying to leave room so that stuff can tumble in there, and that tumbling process is what helps with the washing and the drying. So if you pack it too full, it's going to come out, they're going to be wet. They're not going to be clean all the way or something like that. You know, there's going to be issues. But so far, with the loads that I've done, I like it. It's working good. I haven't had it long enough for something to have an issue. You know, some of the other complaints, you know, I think somebody complained that there was something that broke. I forget what it was. If I have any of those issues, of course, I'll come back and update. There was one review on Amazon, and this lady, I think it was a lady, she wrote a pretty long paragraph. It stretched down. I had to scroll down to read the whole thing. She went on about it's a different type of washing process in this than it would be a residential, you know, normal washer and dryer separate units. You know, making sure that you got your settings right for what type of load you're doing, the type of laundry that it is. You know, and she went down through and she described all these things, and I think she was spot on. I think she was, from my experience, what I've seen so far, I think she's very accurate on how she's saying that this is a different wash cycle. You know, if you're always in a hurry and you want to do big loads, this isn't the washer for you, that's for sure. If you can spread your stuff out and do little loads, you know, and go off and do other things, you can probably get by with this okay. You know, small efficiency, RV, whatever, I think it'll work out all right. So after reading that lady's review, I thought, well, that seems accurate to me, and I'll give it a try. You know, I need to do something, I need one, so let me give it a try and see how it does. So far it's working good, so if there's anything else, I'll come back and let you know. When this load is done, we'll go out and check it, and I'll show you what the results are. I'll show you the drain of how I drain the water out from the drying cycle, how that happens, stuff like that. So stay tuned and we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, so I came out to check the laundry, and it's been, my alarm just went off, so it's been just under 4 hours. I think it was like 3:55 or something like that when we first put this in. And if I'm reading this right, I believe that number is it's reading in minutes. So it's got another 35 minutes. So it gained some time somehow. It might have something to do with the microfiber towel that I have inside. So I'm going to reset the alarm, and we'll come back and check on this in a little over half an hour. Okay, so the clothes just finished. We're going to go ahead and pull them out of there. To do that, you got to hit the there's a child lock on the door. You got to hit the child lock or unlock, which is the pre-wash. You just press on the button and hold it for, I think it's 3 seconds. There. Now the door's unlocked, so we can open that. And there they are. So let me pull these out, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I got the laundry out. Got it up here in the basket now. Like I was saying, it comes out pretty hot, almost too hot to really handle it if you hold it too long. What I'm finding is that like this shirt's polyester or whatever, they dry pretty easily, but like the socks, the thicker stuff, when you first handle them, they're so hot they almost feel like they might be a little bit damp. But as they start to cool off, they're dry. There's no issue with it at all. So the load there, it's good. What I'm going to do now is see if I can set up a camera and show you how this thing drains out. If I can do it without breaking the door off. Basically just have a little hose with the plug on the end. You stick it in a dish or a small container or something like that. Just pull the plug off and let the water run into that, and then I just throw it outside. It's not a big deal. But from what I understand, that's the moisture from the drying cycle. So let me see if I can set that up. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so I got the plug out. You can it's actually not that much water in there, it looks like. You can see that little bit of water just trickling out of there. It's so close to the floor, you can almost have the washer up on top of something to elevate this to make it a little easier to drain out. But there's really not that much in here. I don't think it's going to be that much of a concern. The last time I drained this out, it drained probably half of an 8-ounce glass of water. I'd say about half of that was about all I got, and that's per load roughly. Well, there you have it. That completes the video for the washer dryer combo on the LG washer. So I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, you want to hit that thumbs up button. That helps out a lot. If you're new here, subscribe, and that'll keep you up to date on videos to come in the future. Got a few videos coming up of some other RV modifications that I made or that I'm in the process of doing. One of them is going to be the install of that washer in the garage portion of the toy hauler. So I have to plumb the water to that and the drain and whatnot. So that'll be an upcoming video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions on the washer or the washer dryer combo, put them in the question section down below, and I'll do the best I can to answer them or find an answer for them if I can. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next video.